I have this, super, like, Italian cousin, like, he's a second cousin, he's, like, f in his I don't know how old he is, 30s or 40s, late 30s, early 40s, if I were to guess. I have no idea. I don't know, but he's, like, a New Jersey, like, Italian guy, and he completely owns it. He's a little bit bigger you this guy carries himself like he's in the mob, which is sick. I ran into him at a family reunion, and he was like "I walk in, I look at all these losers standing there in line, walk straight by them, don't even think about it. I don't gotta wait in lines at these places, okay? Walk straight in, go straight to the front, they recognize me like, 'Hey, Johnny, how's it going?' I'm like, 'Hey, how's it going back?' And they hand me what I need, and I get out of there." That's his experience for getting pizza on a regular basis. That's how he gets his pizza. He knows the pizza guys, so he big dogs everybody who's waiting in line for walks right by him. "No, thank you, I'm all taken care of. Imma go get my triple meat whatever." It's a Philly cheesesteak pizza. He walks straight past everybody, gets it, looks at them like bunch of fucking losers waiting in line, and walks right by him and hits the store, and I think that's sick, honestly. I bring news from the western part of New York, where a treacherous invasion of buccaneers came from the bay in Tampa to wage war on the local Williams. It was an all-out assault on both sides, as Sean Tucker gashed the defenses over and over again for a three dastardly blows right in the home's rear end zone. But wait, what's this? It's the Chief, Joshua Patrick Allen, known locally as Daddy, vanquishing the enemy as he has become the only person in NFL history to throw 3 passing touchdowns and score 3 rushing touchdowns in a single game twice, defending the honor of the mighty Buffalo and sending the Buccaneers back to whence they came, the dirty scoundrels. Bills win the game 44, Tampa Bay 32, and it was one of the most fun games that I've watched in weeks, I think. It was so much fun watching the back and forth. First off, I will credit where it's due. Baker Mayfield is one of the most fun guys, not just to, like, watch, but to root for. Like, for me, he's impossible to root against. I find him so enjoyable, in the way he plays the game, so enjoyable, his attitude, I have friends who are football fans because they watched him at Oklahoma, and he changed kind of, like, a lot of culture, I think, in the college football landscape, and to see him, like, really I mean, the team is really banged up, which makes it tough, but he's playing so well in Tampa Bay. It looks like he's having fun. I'm not a Tampa Bay fan. I love watching him play down there. I think he's a perfect fit for that team. I think he's just so much fun. I had him as a dark horse MVP. The injuries are going to, I think, stop that from happening at this point. If they get enough wins, I think it could happen, but their receiving core is just honestly, it's so banged up that I just don't think he has a chance of getting there, which really sucks, but he had a rushing touchdown today. I don't know if he's ever gotten one of those. I mean, I'm sure he's so much fun, so much fun, and it was a blast to watch him go to work. But I'll be honest, it was even more of a blast to watch Josh Allen play the way that it's really the way him and Baker both play the game. Josh just does it in a better way, in my opinion. He can just do things that Baker can't, but it's the same play style. Um, where he ran 3 touchdowns in, which is impressive for a quarterback by itself, and he threw 3 passing touchdowns. He's become the first player to ever do that twice in their career. 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns in a single game. The He did it once this year now, he did it once last year, and I believe it hasn't happened since 1956, I wanna say, 1958, something like that, forever ago. Absolutely forever ago when I think Otto Graham is the one that did it, like, to the point I didn't know that that was a stat, like, that was that crazy. And it's not without its faults. He had a very just everything he could do kinda pass backed up against the end zone right in the first drive of the game where he just I think it was the first or second play that our offense had run, the Bills' offense had run, and he just tries to just shovel it backyard football, the ball straight to I don't even know who he was throwing it to, honestly. It was a terrible pass. I mean, it was better than it was actually, I think, better than taking the safety because at least we kinda made them earn it, and the defense stood up early and I believe held them to a field goal, when Tampa Bay was inside the 10 or 15, I wanna say. I'm not sure the exact spot. I did not look back on that, obviously. There's no way I looked back on that. And so he was great except for a couple interceptions, but he's so good that those interceptions do not impact him at all. And I think he got that one out of the way so early, and it held him to if they had scored a touchdown, I think it maybe changes the tone of the game a little bit. But the defense stood up early. They got destroyed later, but they stood up early in that possession, forcing the Bucks to punt and then holding them to a field goal. I was really, really good. Bills special teams was elite. Mecole Hardman, I thought he was kind of I didn't really see the appeal of the signing. He did fumble on special teams on one of the returns, but outside of that, he was electric out of the gate. Very fun. Um, no Keon Coleman today, which turned out not to be a problem whatsoever. Gabe Davis is, pretty. I'm so back and forth on Gabe Davis because I think it's just a him and Josh Allen type of thing that makes him good. I don't think Gabe Davis is good. I think he proved that he went to Jacksonville and they cut him. I think they had overpaid him when they gave him the contract. I think he's a cool guy. I just personally haven't been the biggest fan. He seems to play well with Josh Allen, and I think that held true in this game. Coming off, I don't even know where. I don't think he came off of anything. I don't even think he was on someone's practice squad. I think he was just a free agent. I mean, same with Mecole Hardman. He was a free agent, but coming off of injuries, like he was recovering, kind of made sense that that was going to be the case. Um, but they both did look good. The passing game was working. I will say the 2 of the 3 passing touchdowns came from running backs. He threw one to James Cook, touchdown, and he threw one to, I believe it was Ray Davis. I don't think that was a pitch. I think that was technically a passing play. I couldn't tell you. It looked like a pass to me. I'm going with pass because I think that's the only way the stats make sense now that I'm really saying it out loud. But he was great. The offense looked good. I don't know what was going on last week with Miami. It's still a concerning loss, but this was a very fun game to watch. Like I said, most fun game that I've watched in weeks. Between all the primetime games have been stinkers. The Bills were stinkers last week. It's just this was good. I mean, it was exciting because there were points, and Josh Allen was doing Josh Allen things. He's a baller. It doesn't always work, but he is a baller. And I got to give a big shout out to Sean Tucker, 3 touchdowns because our defense is bad. The Bills have a bad defense right now. So cool that, that was kind of a highlight for him. He had 2 touchdowns on the season coming into the game, and then he scored 3 during the game. 2 rushing, 1 receiving, I believe. And you know what? I'm gonna chalk it up to this. He's Jonathan Tucker. Jonathan Taylor didn't play this week. We needed a 3 touchdown game that fit the criteria of 2 rushing, 1 receiving. I know Travion Henderson did it on Thursday, but no one really gives a fuck about the Patriots. One of the most hated teams in the league, and I am no different. I'm back to hating them, which is refreshing. Um, that being said, kudos to him. We needed someone to get 3 touchdowns on a Sunday from the running back position because Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing, and it was Sean Tucker's day, and I'm glad I got to watch it. I'm glad I got to watch him have a career game. It was insane to watch. Never thought that the Bucks would score that many touchdowns while not putting the ball up in the air the way they normally would. So I think that was awesome. And that's I mean, the defense is dog shit. It is bad. We're getting burned by guys who really don't deserve to be eating the way that they are. But here we are. But it was a good win. Tampa Bay has been a very good team. I think they're still going to win their division. So getting a big win over a division leader is big. I'm so back and forth. It's exactly what I knew would happen. I went, oh, the Bills lost to Miami. They're not a Super Bowl team. And then here we are destroying Tampa Bay, and I'm all the way back. I'm 100% all the way back. Love the Bills. I think we could do it all. Am I worried about the defense? Of course. Am I worried that Josh Allen has to be a superhero every game? Of course. At least this game, it made a little more sense that was the case because I did have Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a top 10 team when healthy. And they've proven that they can still win games and put up points when they are not at 100%. So I think they still make the playoffs. I think the Bills make the playoffs. And this is how I'm kind of flipping it to an extent. I'm going, okay, yes, we lost to Miami. Patriots have a insanely easy schedule through the rest of the year, easiest in the league. That's coming from ESPN, I believe. Easiest schedule of the rest of the year. Do I think the Bills can beat them in the division, like to win the division? Maybe, but because of the schedule stuff, I'm not going to count on it. So what am I going to count on? That I think when we get to the playoffs, it's a different game. The Patriots are not going to be ready. I think the expectations for the Bills are going to be a little bit lower. And I think that I don't think you can play the Bills 3 times in a year and beat them twice. Because it's not impossible. It's not impossible for the Bills to meet the Pats in the playoffs. So in a dream scenario, the Ravens won't make the playoffs, or they will. This is actually a better dream scenario. Broncos have to play the Colts get the 1 seed. The Broncos have to play the Chiefs and beat the Chiefs like they did this weekend. We'll get into that game. Then the Ravens make the wild card. They have to play the Patriots. The Ravens beat the Patriots, knocking them out of the playoffs. In the next round, the Bills, well, they would have won in the wild card round, probably against Jacksonville, whoever the fuck, I don't know. They will win in the wild card round, make it to divisional, beat the Ravens, like we normally do. We'll beat the Ravens, and the Chiefs will be gone, the Ravens will be gone. We'll play the Colts in the AFC Championship. This is dream scenario. I don't even know if all this is possible, the way that they would line up, but this is dream scenario. The Bills will play the Colts in the AFC Championship, and then I can't lose. I bet the Colts already to win the Super Bowl because the odds were better. And then the Bills will be in the AFC Championship. So either the Colts win, and yes, it does hurt that the Bills don't make it there when I think they have that level of talent, and I'm very excited. Coming off a big win, I'm excited. Sue me. And so either the Bills win and make it to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1996, I want to say, or the Colts win and make it to the Super Bowl, in which case I'm probably going to make money. Whether that's through cashing out, hedging, or they just win, I am going to make money. So I might just go bet the Bills right now and I'll have 2 Super Bowl. And then I can't lose. In a dream scenario, I can't lose. And I think that's sick. That's going to be really fun. So if we're talking ideal, that's what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Like that seems like a good time for me. That seems like it was good for me. Was it good for you? Like that would be a very fun time. And I think the Colts getting there would be sick. I mean, they had a bye week, so there's not really much to say about them. Jonathan Taylor's my MVP bet. Colts are my Super Bowl bet. Going to be exciting stuff either way. Dream scenario, Chiefs, Patriots, Ravens all lose. They're all losers. I hate all 3 of them. I think it's the way that the season has gone. Because I'm a Bills fan who lives in New England. I hate New England moves up the ranks quickly in terms of hating them. It's Chiefs number 1, hate the Chiefs. Number 2 right now today is the Patriots. Number 3 is Lamar Jackson. Number 4 is the Baltimore Ravens. And yes, I do consider those 2 different things. But that's the way I see it. Also, Josh Allen with that game, that's an MVP game. That's an MVP performance. I haven't watched every second of the Patriots and Drake May. They're getting wins. I'm just saying, Josh Allen against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a playoff team, 6 total touchdowns, 84 total yards, and a W. That's an MVP game. 6 touchdowns. Drake May against the Jets, who are bad and just benched their starting quarterback and traded away their 2 best defensive players. They did not dominate, won by 13 points. Drake May threw 284 yards and 1 touchdown. That was the Travion Henderson game. Travion Henderson scored 3 touchdowns. Maybe he's the MVP. Oh, the completion percentage. He's the number 1 best thrower when it's first reads. I think he might be a little overrated right now. I think he's good. I think he can win games. I think the hype train is a little much when you kinda look and dig. You don't even have to dig that deep. Everyone is like, "Oh, well, you look at the advanced stats." I'm not a stats guy, so I'm definitely not an advanced stats guy. Um, if you gotta dig into, "Oh, he's the best passer on adjusted completion percentage," or whatever, or on passes that, like, if you remove passes that were dropped, or whatever advanced stat, he's got like, if you have to do all that to make the case, he's probably not the MVP. You're digging more than you should have to. MVP should be, it should be clear cut, obvious, like, don't have to go crazy in depth analysis to make the argument. I think it's a lot of eye test for me, and that's why I think you need to have MVP moments and or MVP games. And I don't think Drake May has had those comparatively to Matt Stafford, Jonathan Taylor, now Josh Allen. He doesn't have those bright and shiny plays in games where I think the other top guys, top 3 or 4 of the top 4 or 5 guys have. I think he's missing stuff along that. Now, could that change down the stretch? Yeah, there's a lot of football games left. But right now, if I had a vote, which I don't, but I wish I did, I think it would go to Matt Stafford. He's played electric. He's got the storyline behind him. After that, it's Jonathan Taylor. He's been electric. He's got the storyline behind him. Plus, he's a running back. Would be great to see a running back. And yeah, and then Josh Allen. I think all 3 of those guys, Josh Allen and Drake May, I think are definitely the closest in that race, but I think Jonathan Taylor and Matt Stafford should be the clear 1 and 2 or 2 and 1. Jonathan Taylor second right now, Matt Stafford obviously first. Um, that's how I see that going. I think that makes sense to me. I think that makes sense to a lot of other people as well. But speaking of Matt Stafford, we got to move through the rest of this. Speaking of Matt Stafford, Rams, Seahawks. It There was a lot of good football this weekend. I'm going to cover the games I watched first, and then I'll cover some of the storylines after. Rams, Seahawks. Stafford is a god. I think that this is the way I'm going to go with it. Sam Darnold threw 4 picks. He's the come on the back this week. Return of the ghosts. He's seeing ghosts out there. 4 interceptions. Some of them maybe not his fault. Some of them maybe are his fault. I don't know. I haven't dug into that. I watched the game film once, and then I haven't seen it again since. I mean, I put the highlights on YouTube while I'm recording the episode if I'm not watching a game, and I just let it autoplay. So I'm watching San Fran, Arizona right now. Not much to say there. If San Fran dominated, kind of knew they would. Um, anyway, Rams, Seahawks. Sam Darnold, he's just back to being a Jet. Like he just, it's the big moments. Now the Rams are good. They're very, very good. But the return of the ghosts is very concerning to me. 4 interceptions is a lot from a guy who I saw put up 38 points in a half. Yeah, and make some really, really nice throws and carve up some defenses. Were they worse defenses? Yes, of course. You can't expect everything to be great all the time. But were there some bad things in there too? Then yeah, maybe. But it's not a lot of takeaways. Rams, Seahawks, little bit more of a defensive battle. It was exciting because it was close. It was 19-21. Seattle's kicker, whose name I don't remember off the top of my head, I think he had to hit a career long to win it. And he had 2 shots. I think he kicked one, but they had called like a timeout or something, or a flag's thrown or whatever. And then he got a second shot and it was just way off. Why do I feel like I'm thinking of a different game? I don't know. Maybe I am. It feels like I'm thinking of a different game. Or maybe it's just the second time it happened in the past couple weeks. That's also possible. Either way, fun game to watch. As fun as If I'm being neutral, as fun as Bills Tampa Bay, no. If I like a little more defense mixed in with my scoring, Seahawks Rams was a great game. Stafford was great. Darnold returned to being bad. If I really hit the full spectrum of games that I got to watch this week, where I watched a ton of scoring in the Bills game, right down the middle, scoring and defense in Seahawks Rams, and then just a defensive stalemate in Lions Eagles. I mean, I don't have a ton of notes, except if you like defense, this was the game for you. Because, man, oh man, was it just kind of boring. I mean, 9-16, uh, not much to say. Uh, Goff, it was all about the defense. Jared Goff, a really good passer in my opinion. 37% completion percentage. Really, really bad. I mean, he threw it 37 times. That just goes to tell you how good the Eagles are, because the Lions offense is fucking loaded. It is completely stacked. I mean, Eagles kept Gibbs in check. They kept Montgomery in check. They kept St. Brown locked down. He had 12 targets and only 2 catches. They were on top of him. I mean, the problem with this game was the biggest receiving threat was Jahmyr Gibbs. Led the team in receiving yards at 107 yards. That's bad. If I flip over to the Eagles and I look at what I thought was bad from the Eagles, I don't like that Jalen Hurts had almost as many rushing attempts as he did completions. That feels really bad. Now, he completed half of his passes, 50%. That's more than Goff. And obviously, they got the win. That's what matters. I am extremely concerned about the running, though, especially when Barkley ran it 26 times, Saquon, for 83 yards. You're looking at 3.2 yards a carry for him, and Hurts had 3.1. I don't love that. Now, you expect a tush push. Yeah, that's going to be, it's going to affect those yards. It's going to bring the averages down because, they might get like 2 yards on one of those because they always have it in their back pocket. So that does push the attempts up and kind of brings the average down. But I would still like to see more. I want a better yard per carry from Hurts, and I want less carries. I don't want my quarterback toting it 10 times. That's 10 potential shots that he's going to take. And I think Jalen Hurts has proven himself to be, I don't know of how good of a quarterback he is. He's a winning quarterback. I think their offense kind of sucks right now, but he's shown that he can win games. You know what I mean? Like, so what is there to knock at in that sense? Wow, I'm just looking at this now because like I said, I'm watching these highlights. Jacoby Brissett threw the ball. I mean, I've got a couple minutes left in this. 55 times. That's amazing. I would not have guessed that from him. 55 times. Oh, he just threw a touchdown. Let's see the update here. Let's see the update. Who's that? Greg Dortch. Wide open in the end zone. I mean, yeah, it's a blowout, so it doesn't really matter. I understand the weak defense from the Niners, but you can't let him go like that. He just leaked straight behind you. That is tough. But Brissett, he's thrown like, it's got to be damn near 500 yards in this game. That's insane for Jacoby Brissett. That is crazy. Good for him though. That's awesome. He's really worked out over there in Arizona. I think they like him more than Kyler Murray at this point. But yeah, Lions Eagles, not much to say. Defensive battle. So I got treated to the full spectrum, offense, balance, and defense all day yesterday. I mean, it was fun to get a good mix, good little bit of everything. Is it good football, it depends on what you like. I like a little more offense, personally. I like scoring. Is a balanced game good? Yes. A defensive game, don't love watching them because for me, if I'm watching a defensive game, that kinda feels more like it sucked, like, it just kind of really was not good. Um, yeah, that's how I feel about defensive games. They're fun every now and then, but I've been subject to Eagles primetime defensive games couple games in a row now, a couple primetime games in a row now that I'm just kinda like, "Well, let's just not." You know what I mean? Like, I wanna see some more points from them. It is a point of, now we're concerned. If let's jump into some more, like, just storyline stuff. I didn't watch these games. I caught some of the scores, caught some of the main storyline stuff. Um, this was my I think, Devin A. Chain on Miami, this may just be he's too good for Miami, is he not? He is an electric player to watch. He's incredibly talented. He's the only reason to watch the Miami Dolphins, and I think Miami Dolphins fans would agree with me on that. Devon Achane is so much fun. I couldn't believe it. I've watched 1 or 2 Dolphins games this year just because, like, I wanted to watch the Colts week 1. I mean, obviously, I watch him when they play the Bills. I've seen him a handful of times now. He is amazing. He is so much fun. You know what? Fuck it. He's the pat on the back this week. Devon H. Being the only reason to watch a football team is a tough place to be, especially when you got to do it in Spain. Their field was cool. I didn't know that they had things that could do, like, they keep the field under the earth. They store the field under the earth, and then when it's time to play games, they resurrect it from its cocoon and hatch it upon the planet, where then athletes who typically it's soccer, but this time it was American soccer, football, and he yeah, he's great. He's so much fun to watch. It prevents injuries. It really was a good time to watch him. Part of me feels like you can't give him up because your team has nothing without him. And another part of me feels like you're going into a rebuild. He deserves better he deserves to be competing in games that people want to watch. I think he's very clearly a number 1 running back. Obviously, he's a uber talented player. He's a guy I'd love to have on the Bills, but I'm also sure he's a guy that they would love to have on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have a bigger tendency to go after guys like that. Now, they weren't willing to pay for they were willing to pay for Breece Hall up to a 4th. If they offered a 4th to Miami for I think Miami takes it. And I think they have to because there's something wrong with that team. I think there's gonna be a head coaching change, or at the very least there should be. I think Mike McDaniel's I think he's an elite offensive coordinator. He's a terrible head coach. He has no ability to control a locker room or lead a franchise. It feels like he just has no power. He's you can see he goes up north, he bundles up in the cold. It looks weak. You saw Bill Belichick, he goes to the I mean, he plays in the cold, but he's out there in a sleeveless sweatshirt. That's a tone setter. Mike Vrabel, if in New England, he's a tone setter. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, at a certain point, you gotta throw a fucking jacket on. Even the guys who are up there on a regular, but you gotta throw a jacket on. You gotta be smart. But just he seems weak. The Dolphins just don't seem good. I don't think he's a good culture setter. Kick back to being an offensive coordinator, and you're gonna make a lot of money for a long time and win a lot of games. Just let someone else be setting the tone and you're good. So that's my big takeaway on that. I think Devon Achane deserves to play in primetime games that are not at 9:30 in the morning. And that's coming from someone who lives in New England. So that's a later start. I think I heard Tua and Marcus Mariota were the starters in Spain for the quarterbacks. They're both from Hawaii. Their families and fans are watching that game at fucking, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever that translates to. Fuck that, dude. That's awful. Like, I don't know, man. I'm still kind of I'm out on the foreign soil games just because they're too early. I love football, but also, you know what? I work a 9 to 5. I work a Not a 9 to 5. I work a 6 to 2:30. I gotta be up early in the morning every day. I gotta get things done on a Sunday. I need the mornings. I love football. I need the mornings. That's where I stand on that. Let's bounce over, keep it in the 1 o'clock. Let's go Packers Giants. Didn't watch this game. Don't care about this game. Knew the Packers would win because I don't think it's it seemed weird like the Packers could lose 3 games in a row this year. No. That was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The only part that I wish I had more screens. I could really only watch, honestly, 1 game at a time. I like to dive into a game and really pay as much attention to it as I can to get a feel for it and to root for a side, be like, "Oh shit, this is crazy." Like, I like doing that. I was so I didn't watch this game, but I was rooting for Jameis Winston the whole time. Return of the J-Dubs. God, maybe he's the come on the back this week. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. You guys will have to find out Thursday, I guess, on who's gonna get that one. Um, or yeah, I don't know. We'll figure that one out. But Jameis, he's so much fun to watch. Now, he didn't do anything crazy, didn't have the wildest stat line, but him and Baker Mayfield are the 2 guys who I'm like, if I didn't have Josh Allen, I think I would want them. Baker is great to watch. He's the one quarterback that if you have a bad quarterback, you want him. And Jameis he's the most fun quarterback you don't want on your team. That's just right where he sits. You don't want him on your team, but man, oh man, can you not get enough of that guy? I haven't watched his like pregame anything yet. I love watching all of his press stuff because he's so much fun, so good on the mic. Really true. I think he belongs. I think he should have been the starter before Jackson Dart over Russell Wilson. I think he should have been the number 2 over Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson, so I'm out on him. I've been out on him for the whole season. And then we had all those backups in games, and it's like, where is Winston? I need Winston. I need Winston. And we weren't getting Winston, and I was pissed off. But now the situation has been rectified. I hope Jackson Dart is okay. He's obviously going to be the guy out there in New York. I think he's just proven that. But I love watching Jameis Winston, and I think he deserves to be on a field every single Sunday, and I don't care for who it is. It is must-see TV. You know who I don't think the guy is? I'm leaning away on JJ McCarthy. He is not looking good. Look, real problems for JJ McCarthy. It's scary. He plays so awful for most of the game that he's in. I think he's played 6 games. He has 9 interceptions. he just looks so bad. I don't think I'm trying to remember if I don't wanna go back on my word. I don't think I said that JJ McCarthy's the guy, but he won, like, 2 games the exact same way. I don't know if he's the guy. Now this is first year playing NFL. He was injured all last season, got injured in the preemies, in the fucking preseason, the preseasons last year, so he didn't play any, like, real snaps in the NFL. Um, so this is his first taste, so does this count as a sophomore slump, or is this just what he was? I mean, he wasn't asked to do a lot when he was at Michigan. Heavy, heavy run game. They would go entire halves when he was there without throwing the ball because they were up so much that they could just they would just run it. And so he really wasn't asked to do a lot, and now he's gotta do a lot more, and it's not great, and he went up against a guy who has figured it out with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Now, is Caleb Williams perfect? No. Has he gotten significantly better from last year and since even game 1 this season? Yes. So that's good. JJ McCarthy, I think, bad, and Caleb Williams, good, and they played each other, and I think that was very obvious. Now again, Caleb Williams perfect? No, definitely not. Had some bad throws, had some mistakes that he made. So does everyone. He's still young, he's still learning. Do think I'm ready to say Caleb Williams is the guy in Chicago. He is, like I said, top 5 clutch time quarterback in the league. He just finds a way to win games, and the Bears are 7-3, and I think that's insane. They have real playoff potential in a year that we were worried about their defense and the offense didn't look great to start. And now it's like, doesn't really matter how they do it. They're winning games. That's a lot of Ben Johnson, but who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Who gives a fuck? Let's jump over Ravens Browns. Ravens, well, I should probably say scores to these games now that I'm really thinking about it. We're figuring it out at the same time, aren't we? We're just cycling through, figuring things out as we go. Baltimore 23, Cleveland 16. The Shador Sanders premiere. Now, Lamar played bad in this game. Dylan Gabriel went out with a concussion. Shador steps in, and I'll even pull up the stat line. Shador Sanders, 16 attempts, 4 completions, 47 yards, and an interception. That's really bad. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but that's really bad. Dylan Gabriel, 10 attempts, 7 completions, 68 yards. No interceptions, no touchdowns, but he left with a concussion, so fair is fair. Shador said he looked bad. I think we can say that maybe the 2-time coach of the year head coach of the who got both those with the Cleveland Browns, maybe he knows his quarterback room better than fucking guys on the internet. You ever think about that? I don't wanna be like, "I told you so" about it, but this feels very I told you know what? Fuck that. No, I do wanna be I told you so about it. I told you. There's a reason, 100% a reason that Dylan Gabriel is playing and Shador is not. And I think 16 passes tells you exactly why. Now, is it the most fair because it is the Baltimore defense? No. And it is but it's 4 completions is bad. That's very bad. When you have 12 incompletions, 3 times as many incompletions as you do completions, that's bad. I don't care who you're playing, it's bad. That's really bad. Jared Goff, similar thing with the Lions. What did he have? We said it earlier, he had 14 completions on 37 attempts, 37.8%. That's bad, but you know what? It's better than Shador Sanders looked against a much better defense. Obviously, Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Shador. He's got more time than Shador. And apparently, I haven't seen this, but apparently a lot of people online have been like, well, he hasn't had many reps with those guys on the first team. And it's like, yeah, but you know what? He still gets paid to play football, okay? He gets paid to be a backup quarterback in this league to a guy who he was in the same draft class as. You gotta have more than you gotta complete more than 25% of your passes. Now, if you were a true number two and maybe you went out and you threw 4 passes and you had 1 completion, all right, fine. Little crunch time, or not crunch time, little garbage time plays, all right, fine. But that is not what happened. Shador looked bad. I've only seen the highlights. You know, I'm gonna pull up the highlights on the rest of this game so I can just watch and see how he looked. Because there weren't many of them. I could tell you that. He just didn't look good. He looked off. He didn't play, his best game, 23 points. We kind of expect a little more from Baltimore than that. They've had a tough season, a lot of injuries. You know what, Cleveland? You hung in there and you covered the spread at 7.5. Good teams win, great teams cover. That's what I say. But Shador, you may have sucked in this game. You may have sucked in this game. Man, we haven't even seen a Browns highlight yet. That's not great. Is it fair? Probably not. But is it kind of a I told you so? Maybe we should trust the head coach. He knows more than us. He's around these guys more than we are. He knows what they look like. Should we trust the guy who gets paid to do this? Yeah, we probably should. Okay, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Shador. It's not that you love Shador Sanders and think he should be the guy. You just think Dylan Gabriel shouldn't be the guy. And you know what? Maybe I agree with that point. If you just go, I just don't like Dylan Gabriel, fine. I think I could get behind that. I think that's a reasonable stance to have. I think if Cleveland was smart, they go ahead and they try to find a quarterback in next year's draft, which yeah, we've had some surprising guys that we didn't see coming. Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. I never heard his name before. Is that the way it goes? Maybe. Um, but there's been a lot of guys who we thought were going to be good, and they were going to come out last year, chose not to, and now they don't look as good, so they've lost a little bit of draft stock. So maybe you get maybe you go 2 quarterbacks again, and you take 1 in the first round and 1 in a later round, because I'm sure some of these guys like Nussmeier and Drew Aller, like they've lost some of their stock, but maybe they translate at the next level. Maybe they're having a bad year. I don't know. That's not impossible, but I think Dylan Gabriel, I think he kind of has the feel of a career backup. Maybe his not his fault. He's a little undersized. That's fine. Shador, he didn't feel like shit this game. He felt like a real liability for someone who's supposed to be bigger and stronger and have good touch. And I heard nothing but positive things. He's going to be a first round quarterback. Oh, what a steal! We got him all the way at the fit. Yeah, move on. Okay, I think you hope and pray that he has a good game next week if Gabriel can't play, and you trade him immediately. If he looks good, you get rid of him. You do not keep him out there if he looks good. I know that because you're just running the risk of him looking bad. You capitalize. You got to know that you're not going to keep him around. I say fucking move on. Move the fuck on. That's what I say. Let's jump over to a game I think is interesting. Chiefs Broncos. And the Chiefs might be done, and I think that's so sick. Do I realistically think they're done? No. I think the Broncos do this every week where they don't really look good and then they win games. I think this was like the 5th game that Andy Reid has ever lost in his career off of a bye week in the regular season. I think this is the 5th loss ever. His wins are in the 20 somethings, but this is his 5th loss ever, which my mom hates Andy Reid. I don't know why. She doesn't really know why. She's like, I don't know if I'm confusing him with his brother. She's like one of those guys she hates and doesn't really have a reason. So we usually just say it's Andy Reid because it's easier. It it really seems like my mom might have the wrong guy and is just dug in, which I think is very funny that she has no explanation. She goes, I don't know, something about him. I don't like his face or whatever she says. My mom hates Andy Reid. Hates him more than or more unjustly than I may hate Lamar Jackson. And I no one knows why. She can't figure she doesn't know why, but she hates him, which I do think is hilarious. But anyway, Chiefs Broncos, the Chiefs could be done. Now, realistically, do I think that's the case? No. Broncos have a stellar defense and have been finding a way to win games all season. Chiefs have been banged up. They're kind of having a down year. I believe right now they're out of the playoff picture. I'm sure they're still a top 5, top 3 in terms of odds to win the Super Bowl because it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. But do I think this is a year that they do it? No. I think this could be the beginning of the end. The only way it's not is if you want to give it to the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year and you go, that was the beginning of the end. But if not, we could say it's just this season as a whole. It feels like their reign is over. Their dominance has come to an end. I could not be happier about it. I do not hate any team in the league more than I hate the Kansas City Chiefs. I do not want anyone to lose more games than I do the Kansas City Chiefs. Close second is currently the New England Patriots, as we talked about earlier. I'm just glad that they were bad. I'm glad they lost. I'm glad Kareem Hunt got a touchdown because I had him on my fantasy team because I was screwed otherwise. But I'm glad that they lost. It is crazy to me that Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball 45 times and not score 20 points. Oh yeah, I'm still fuck me. Kansas City 19, Denver Broncos 22. I believe on another game-winning field goal. That's just how they're doing it. They wait till the fourth quarter to turn things on. Apparently, don't know why. That's what they do. They like to have fun. I have no idea. Don't really have much more to say. I'm just glad the Chiefs are done. Broncos look like they're going to win the division as of right now in what we thought was going to be a dominant division and just with playoff teams left and right. The Chargers have been a little disappointing. The Chiefs obviously have been disappointing. The Broncos are about par for the course in terms of record, but you don't like the way that they're doing it. Because you really would wish that they just don't wait until the fourth quarter to win a game. Every single game. You don't want to see the 33-point comebacks. You don't want to see the 16-point comeback, whatever it is. The game-winning field goals. Like you want those things to be possible, but we're getting it every week and that's a concern. So do I think that any team in what is it, the West, the AFC West wins the Super Bowl this year? Hell no. The entire construction just doesn't seem to be going that way. Unfortunate, but that is the case. Yeah, super sucks for them, but is what it is. I'm glad the Chiefs lost. I don't have much to say on the game. I didn't watch the game. The stat lines seem par for the course. There's just points weren't there, which makes no sense to me. My mom hates Andy Reid. I hate Patrick Mahomes. Unified front. We hate as a family. That's how it's done in our house. I don't what do you want me to say? Alright, but that's gonna be the show for today, guys. Honestly, I gotta pee pretty bad, you know, and so if I'm not on the microphone, no one's on the microphone because this it's just us, okay? It's me and the listener. There's no one else here to talk. I don't know if you've noticed that in the ramblings that I've had the entire time, but we're gonna wrap the show so I can go hit the fucking bathroom, dude. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. We're gonna be trying some new things here and there, experimenting, having a good time. Go ahead, drop a comment wherever you're listening, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. Leave a comment on an Instagram post. Things you like, things you don't like, things you want to have changed. We're a small community right now. So let's see what's working, what's not, what you guys like and what you don't. And all the feedback is very much appreciated on that front. God, I'm still watching the Ravens Browns highlight reel, and Shador just is not about I'm not about it. He's really looking not good. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you liked the show and you want to get a little more taste of the comedy side of things, go ahead and check out Rudy Tuesday podcast. Everywhere you get your podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, whatever the fuck. I'm sure there's some random ones in there because I don't run that part of it, so they do some cool stuff there. Um, that's a comedy podcast I do with comedians Breck Michael and Rudy Marinosi that comes out every Tuesday. Rudy Tuesday. We recorded at Rudy's house. That's a good time. It's been described to me as the bar conversations that you have on a Monday, which is pretty accurate. It's boys hanging out in a garage is really what it is. So if you're missing out on that kind of conversation because the old lady or the old I don't know a slang word for your job. If you got to get up too early, you can't hang out. We can't hang. We're adults. Some of us we can't hang out at the bar every night anymore. I did. I mean, we all did it for a while there, but you can't do it every night. So if you're one of those guys who's missing the bar hang, come have a listen. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun over there, like I said. And why not? What do you got to lose? What do you got to lose? A couple little giggles? You gonna miss out on the giggles? That's on you, dog. Enjoy your life. Listen to Rudy Tuesday. Thank you very much for listening to Pat on the Back. Um, appreciate all your support. Love you guys. I hope you're enjoying the show as we're growing and building into something that I do think is going to be a really good time going forward. We're just trying new stuff to find our way. That's all. But appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Oh, and like and subscribe.